Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Condo Coaches, thecondocoaches.com, a brand new radio show program here that we're going to talk about condo associations, homeowners associations. This is really going to be an exciting program for you because you're going to learn a lot. You're going to teach us a lot. We're going to share a lot of stories because everybody has stories about the condo associations and homeowners associations and all the adventures that ensues. And really, to start today's conversation, we want to tell you what the Condo Coaches is about. The Condo Coaches is more or less what it sounds like. We're a team of individuals here. We want to serve as an educational and informational resource for board members, residents who live under a condominium or homeowners association. And our mission here is to help these associations, run effectively, efficiently, on budget, and also to help hopefully resolve some homeowner issues. And so let's go ahead and start introducing our characters for the day, our coaches for the day. And again, if you want to check us out online, you can go to thecondocoaches.com. With us today is our head coach, Dean AKERS. So very excited to have you, Dean. Please.
Jonathan, we're really excited to be here.
Thank you so much. And one of our condo coaches here on the very first episode is going to be CANDICE GUNDEL. So welcome, CANDICE.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All right. Well, let's first of all start off with you guys, since we're going to be learning from you. Give us an idea of your expertise, your background. How long have you been in this universe of condominium and homeowner associations?
Well, Jonathan, I've only been in it about 10 months. And somebody might ask, why would I be a coach? Well, I've owned probably 6 businesses over the last 40 years, done hundreds of millions of dollars, tons of different industries. And I got in the homeowner industry and the condominium association industry and saw this huge business that needed help in coaching. And I've had a company called Adjunct CEO for years that I've coached a lot of companies, hundreds of companies in this area. And so I saw this need to bring business skills, negotiation skills, communication skills to the condominium world to help these boards and board members effectively run their associations better.
That's amazing. And so, again, you have a team, an incredible team of individuals at the Condo Coaches headquarters, and one of them is Candice, who is with us today. And so, Candice, give us a little bit of background on your expertise.
Absolutely. Well, besides being a homeowner for most of my life, I've also been an attorney representing condominiums, homeowners associations, and cooperatives exclusively since 2009. We've been working throughout the state of Florida with these associations, their owners, their board of directors, their managers, to really solve the problems that they're facing legally and actual practical, too. Problems from just being neighbors and running a good community.
Very cool. And I'm assuming you've had your share of experiences, both positive and negative, with the associations where you live, right?
Absolutely.
So you can even borrow from your personal experience in addition to, of course, all the clients of the Condo Coaches. And again, if you want to check us out online, thecondocoaches.com, this show is going to be incredibly interactive because not only are we going to take questions here at the radio show, but we also want to hear from you on our social media accounts. So find us on Facebook, facebook.com/the Condo Coaches. Also, you can email us at help@thecondocoaches.com. If you want to give us a call, talk to one of our condo coaches, schedule an appointment, you want to call 813-331-5415. That's 813-331-5415. And again, the email address help@thecondocoaches.com. So, right out of the bat, again, these homeowners associations are typically made up of people from all walks of life that just happen to be living in the same community. And so what do you see being the basically the starting point issue? Like where do these kind of go wrong just from the beginning?
Well, Candice and I'll probably have 2 different perspectives. My perspective, which has been interesting, and I've helped a number of associations across the state in the last 9 months, is communication. And how many times in relationships does it always boil down, to communications? And what's funny is we're going around as condo coaches and helping boards and helping property management groups to understand communications by age group and generation. And the average condo owner is a baby boomer, and a lot of the property management and different folks are Gen Xers and Gen Yers. And so we're doing a great job of coaching people on communication. And once they understand communication skills between the generations, it removes tons of roadblocks. one item.
Well, and nowadays there's so many ways to communicate, right? There's email, there's standard mail. Now you've got texting. Now you've got social media. I mean, and I'm guilty of probably using all of the above. I mean, if anything, I probably trust my postal service the least. And so, I tell people, find me online. I'm very easy to find online, and get a hold of me however you need to, because I'm always connected, right? And so I'm very easy to get a hold of. But like you said, it's a generational thing. Not everyone communicates the same way. And so how do people end up on these boards? Typically, what is it that motivates them to want to volunteer their time to serve on these boards?
Candice, why don't you answer? You've dealt with most boards.
Well, generally, actually, the people who end up on the board of directors are people who have had communication problems or had problems in their community because they've become concerned, they've had an issue, they got informed, and so now they're stepping up and they're volunteering. It's a very difficult job. It can be very, very time consuming and frustrating. So it's a thankless job, but it's important that these people do it. And once they get on, they tend to stay because they can see that they can affect positive change in their community. They can help their neighbors, and it really benefits the entire community as a whole.
Now, again, the whole purpose behind the Condo Coaches isn't just to help the boards out. It's not to help out the property management companies. It's not just to help out the residents. We really want to do all of the above, right? We want to create this seamless, operation here for these associations to run effectively, run efficiently. Why don't you talk a little bit about the dynamic in regards to the role that each of these play, right? Because the resident has their responsibilities, the association, the board members have their responsibilities, and of course, if there's a property management company, they obviously have their sets of responsibilities.
Well, right now, the ultimate responsibility comes down to the board of directors, and they're elected by the members of the condominium association or the homeowners association. So it's important for that board of directors I go back to communications. Property management firms are hired to help do the day-to-day operations. Excuse me today. But at any rate, they're hired to do the day-to-day operations because most of the board members are volunteers. They have day jobs or they have other responsibilities. So it's a kind of a triad of communication. Where we usually find the communication goes wrong, or where I find it's going wrong, is the word assume. And people assume that people understand, people don't talk to each other, and then people avoid talking to each other. And property managers, a lot of property managers, we really want to work close with property managers with the Condo Coach program, is we want to teach them how to engage their board members, because there's a big disconnect between property management and board of directors in a lot of cases, and that's why you see changeover in property managers. So it's the board of directors day in and day out that I find are the nucleus of all the situations. And when they're running smoothly and well, everybody's happy. I'm a married guy. And when my wife's happy,
the household's happy.
Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy.
Yeah,
The dogs are happy.
Dogs are happy. Everybody's happy. So from my perspective, I look at when the board's doing a great job, everybody's happy.
Sure. And so, again, this is our inaugural radio show. We're trying to educate people on what the Condo Coaches is about. You've got a bit of a dysfunctional situation going on, right, between the board of directors, as you said, and for this first example, let's say the property management company. What does the Condo Coaches come in and do? What's their role here?
Well, we have an assessment program right now that where if you want one of our Condo Coaches to come in, we're going to come in and do a 4-page assessment. The assessment's going to include a number of things. It's going to include your knowledge of your budget. It's going to include how you deal with different things. Part of it will be a semi-legal review from one of our coaches, not a legal opinion, but a coaching review.
Okay.
And when we're done, we'll be able to give that to you and give it to all your other stakeholders.
Excellent. And now that you mentioned legal, and Candice, again, this is your wheelhouse. Somebody wants to serve on one of these boards, right? They've just moved into a community. Maybe they see some areas where they might be able to help. Are there any legal hoops and hurdles that they need to jump through to get onto one of these boards?
Really, no. As long as they are a homeowner in the community and they are current on their assessment dues to the association, then they're eligible to serve on the board of directors. Usually an association will have an annual meeting and they'll elect their board at that time. So if you're a homeowner that wants to get involved and it's not around the annual meeting time, there's a number of other ways you can get involved by contacting the board of directors, contacting the property manager. You can volunteer on committees. And then when the next annual election comes around, you can nominate yourself and you can run to sit on the board.
Awesome. And like I said, we're here to serve as a resource, not only for the board of directors, but, we know that we are going to hear from homeowners as well, because inevitably, maybe it's paint on the walls. Maybe you want to put a flagpole in front of your house. I mean, there's so many common themes that we hear about when there's conflict between residents and their homeowners association board. And so we want those people to contact us, not only to come and help them out, but also to send us those questions, and we'll talk about them right here on the radio show. They can do that at thecondocoaches.com. That's thecondocoaches.com. And again, you can call 813-331-5415, 813-331-5415, and you'll actually be able to speak to one of our condo coaches. And if email's more of your thing, help@thecondocoaches.com, help@thecondocoaches.com. Who knows? Dean might be the one answering that email.
Totally.
Maybe Candice. We'll get Candice on the phone,
Sure
and if she needs to talk you off the ledge, before you kind of go in there and rage against your association. And really, so now let's talk about the role of the homeowner. I live in a condo, or I live in a community, and again, things are not to my liking, or maybe it's something that I'm initiating. Maybe I do want to paint the exterior of my home. And obviously every community is going to be different. But what is the best process to follow when engaging your association's board?
Absolutely start going to board meetings. That's the biggest thing. Board of directors can meet, they must meet at least once a year, but sometimes they'll meet monthly. And I can't tell you how many times I've been to board meetings and the only people in the room are the board of directors. And they get so excited when they see homeowners come and get engaged.
Sure.
And you can bring issues, you can bring positive feedback, you can bring concerns, and they get excited because then they have feedback that they can go with, and they can talk to their property management company if they have one, and work on those topics that are important to the neighborhood.
Yeah, because oftentimes you see that nobody starts showing up until there's a big problem,
Yeah.
and then everybody starts showing up to the board meetings, and those meetings also have to be run a certain way. I think this is one of the areas that, again, the condo coaches are going to help these boards in figuring out is how is it exactly that these boards are going to run, because we have parliamentary procedure, of course, we have elections involved. There's obviously some financial management that needs to take place as well. And so what would you recommend somebody who's interested in not only running for a board position, but also maybe already on the board and maybe they're in a little over their head?
Sure. And again, I think Dean mentioned it earlier. Most of these individuals they're just homeowners volunteering their time. They don't necessarily have the experience. You can contact Condo Coaches. We would be happy to help them with any issues that they have or training. But there are also a number of other organizations that can help with continuing education and giving you the skills and the knowledge you need to run what is, in most cases, a multi-million-dollar corporation.
Yeah, and then, and so getting back to, some of the problems that arise, because not everybody has any kind of experience to serve on these boards, but they serve because they care about the community they live in. And so when we're talking about communication, let's kind of focus on that aspect a little bit, because you mentioned that's really a lot of times the core of the problem here. What have you seen as the best or the most effective way to communicate, not only with the residents, but with the property management company?
Well, Jonathan, it's again why we started Condo Coaches. I'll give you an example. I met with a board member this week. And when I met with this board member, he was concerned about some issue in his condominium association. And he was worried about communication. I opened my laptop to show him something that he could see that was good communication. Mm-hmm. And he looked at me and he says, I don't use computers. So,
oh boy.
So you could assume people understand communication techniques, like you mentioned, all the different ways. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, you can't assume that. You need to make sure. You need to ask. You need to make sure how they're wanting to communicate. We're seeing e-newsletters to be a great source to go out. In fact, in several condominium associations recently, we've helped with our creative people to design newsletters, e-newsletters that they can keep communications of just things about their community, the good things, things going on, events in the area. And I want to make one point, because this is our inaugural show. The reason we started this is there's so many condo coaches out there. I've talked to a number of the state politicians and local politicians that want to get involved and coach what their type things. Vendors. We have people down in South Florida, our great market in South Florida, Southeast Florida. There's 40-year certifications going, and there's boards everywhere that don't even know what that means. And it's impacting groups tens of millions of dollars. People are having $100,000 assessments that have lived there 30 years. So we want them, this is why we're so excited about the condo coaches. It's to bring experts on to deal with all these issues. But communication is huge.
Yeah. Well, and again, when a lot of people buy their first home, they know of an HOA, right? Like you've heard of it, you kind of more or less know what it, but you have no idea how to interact with them, how to engage with them. And so, this is going to be really exciting because there is so many areas to cover. You just named a few that, again, assessments for one are incredibly scary, especially for someone who maybe has lived in their community for a long time and needs to make certain repairs and that sort of thing. And so there's so many issues that we're going to talk about, but we want to hear about the issues that you are dealing with in your community. So again, the best way to get a hold of us is thecondocoaches.com, thecondocoaches.com. You can also email us or call us, if you want to schedule an appointment or you just have a question. Maybe you just have a simple question that your board or your community is dealing with. You can call us at 813-331-5415, 813-331-5415. And again, email is also a great way to get a hold of us. help@thecondocoaches.com, help@thecondocoaches.com. Dean, Candice, thank you so much for being on today's show. We are kicking off an incredible resource here for people all across the country, really. And I can't wait for the next episode of the Condo Coaches.
Well, Jonathan, I just can't thank you enough. I think this is going to be great for all the homeowners, and we're committed to being a real resource.
All right. Thank you so
Jonathan.
much.
Thank you.